Thank you very much. News 24. I thought you were going to ask about the venue. Because of the NEC, it seemed to be a point of interest to News 24. So you must pay attention that the ANC and its structures throughout the country, we hold meetings most of the time in council offices. So the fact that we changed the venue from this direction to that direction had nothing to do with money. It was security considerations on our part. So, and the security considerations are not communicated to the public. But we realize that this venue matter has been blown out of proportion and distorted. There in Alberton, I'm sure more than once you have been invited there, where the ANC, among others, its president, addressed what is called a barometer launch of the councillors. Caucus meetings by parliamentarians have been held in that council. So it's not for the first time that we utilize council office. Here in Johannesburg, we have met in the council chambers many times as the NEC. So I just want to bring that to your attention so that you are aware that we do hold meetings in council chambers, in different provinces, and all of that, because those are facilities for holding meetings. And if you are required to pay, we pay, and which is what has happened even now with regard to Eguruleni. On the early conference, we did not consider early conference for the province of the Eastern Cape. In our meeting, we agreed that all conferences must be concluded, regional conferences, by December this year. SACP members in the ANC Power FM, in our view, the resolution of the SACP is forcing members of the ANC who are members of the SACP to choose between the ANC and the SACP. So the notion of dual membership doesn't fall away, but the implication of that decision essentially says choose between the ANC and the SACP. We discussed the perspective, the correctness of the alliance with the Communist Party, and that the ANC is a party that leads the National Democratic Revolution. So the Communist Party is not saying that it wants to lead because they want to be at the helm of leading the National Democratic Revolution. So in this particular instance, they don't say they want to contest elections because they want to entrench socialism, which we believe that it's a decision that we cannot persuade them away from if they arrive at that particular conclusion. But our discussions at the level of the National Executive Committee is that we must continue to engage with them. And if we fail, we fail. And it means we must now embark on the new discussion, which is going to be a discussion of how do we deal with a Communist Party that is contesting elections for whatever reasons they will advance as the African National Congress. And we can't waste time on that particular matter. Because if they contest elections, and it will have an implications for the alliance, in our view. So in this particular instance, it's a matter that we need to grapple with and also guide our structures throughout the country on the SACP. For instance, there's a lot of things we share with the Communist Party. We share our strategy in terms of contesting elections. They attend our strategy workshops, but they participate in all the processes led by the ANC in relation to the appointment of public representatives and so on. So this decision will mean that all of those things, for instance, will be reviewed in terms of how we work with them. Zolega, GNU engaging other parties. We have been mandated, in terms of the statement of intent, we have to talk to the partners in the GNU, which is what we're going to do. And the officials have been mandated to process that decision in terms of the government of national unity. We did get the report of the Deputy President and Comrade Tembis Melani, and matters relating to those reports were referred to the national officials to process. So once that is done, we will be able to communicate more on those reports. We didn't discuss Ezuluini. The question you asked about Ezuluini, we didn't discuss that. Expansion of the GNU, Ms. Tele, expansion of the GNU to other political parties, I think it is covered by the answer that we are going to process that discussion with others in terms of this GNU invitation of others to participate. How is that going to happen? But the ANC affirms that the GNU is a correct tactical intervention for the country for reasons of stabilizing politically and economically this country. The DA political mischief we see from time to time in the GNU, it's a matter that we need to address. And we have made an example here about the issue of the tariffs. You must understand that the tariffs imposed by the United States of America are negatively going to affect our economy. And you can't, for national interest, say no and do BE and all of that in order to appease the United States of America, because among others, this is what the US want from us, that we must do away with certain policies, which for us, in terms of transformation, it's not going to be possible. You know, during the period of struggle, the United States of America, even under Reagan, characterized the ANC as a terrorist organization. Oliver Tambo went to meet the President of the United States schools, and this ambassador of the United States, who's been sent to our country now, was one of the right-wing proponents of that resolution, of banning the ANC, and that we should be regarded as a terrorist organization. And our president then, Oliver Tambo, went in the United States of America to clarify that we're not a terrorist organization. Now we are in the democratic dispensation. The President of the United States of America, we go to see him through the President of a democratically elected South Africa. We sit with him, he plays videos for us there. And then videos, and then says on the basis of those videos, the whole of our nation must be punished. He's not coming to the G20, and then that is it. Despite the fact that facts say something different. In the delegation, you've got prominent business people from South Africa who say that this thing you are talking about is not the way it's unfolding in the country and all of that. But they are not retreating. They are intensifying. So it's to basically coerce us to do things that are anti-transformation. It's not possible. If it means we're going to suffer through sanctions as leaders of the ANC, let it be. We'll never beg imperialists to subvert our democracy, to subvert our sovereignty. It happened during the period of struggle. It will happen even now. We will never forsake our country, which we fought for its liberation. And we're still marching on even now. Not this ANC, not this leadership. If they want to bring sanctions on us, let them bring them. But this country, South Africa, all its citizens know that it is a democratic country, it's a liberated country, and we are still transforming this country in order to achieve equity. And we will still pursue redress because we are not equal in this economy. This economy is still male, white dominated. And you want to tell us to abandon policies that seek to advance transformation. We're told by somebody who's more wealthy than all of countries combined in the world that I'll give you Starlink, but you must not do black economic empowerment. In our country, we must agree to that. It's not possible to agree to that. You are asking us to abandon what we stand for. You are asking the ANC, this African National Congress, to stop struggling and then close shop and become something. We are not DA. DA has to agree with that because they don't want affirmative action. Leave black economic empowerment. They don't want affirmative action. They don't want redress. They don't believe in transformation. Now they are talking about black economic empowerment, which we reviewed and said that is triple BEE. And then we broadened it to be broad-based and all of that. And then their anti-transformation is a party of anti-transformation. So if you ask us all of these things that the Trump administration is asking us to do, they are asking us to abandon the very essence of who we are, which is not going to be possible. If we are punished for advancing and defending South Africa, that should be the case. We have gone to them. We have asked them. This fringe, right-wing fringe in our country, that goes to America and lie about our country. We have said to them that go and settle there if you want to. Just like in Cuba, Fidel Castro opened Cuba, and then Cubans who want to leave must go. They went and settled in Miami. And then thereafter, they punished Cuba with sanctions. Here in South Africa, Donald Trump called for whites here, gave them special status in America. 49 car guards arrived in America. Car guards arrived in America. He is saying that we are a racist country, we are everything else. He gave them special status to leave. They didn't leave. And then when they arrived there, it's chaps who are looking after cars here. Because this country, they are the most well looked after people by this economy. They are okay. KTK, they are fine in this economy. And then they did not go to the United States of America. In less than a week being there, they started killing each other there. A man killing his girlfriend there. This is what they do here. Killing each other over something. They are in the courts. Killing our people, saying they look like monkeys. Killing blacks here in our country. And then they went to badmouth us in the United States of America. But Donald Trump invited them to come. They didn't go. They didn't leave this country, South Africa. They are still here. Some girl, are we throwing the towel? We are not throwing the towel with regard to the SACP. We point to ideological challenges about the party position. We also point to contradictions this is bringing. But as you would have heard, the General Secretary of the Communist Party is very clear. There's no retreat. They are going for the elections. Even when we met with them, we reported to the NEC that we said we must not go through this path. Let's consider reconfiguration and work out things between the two organizations. They insist on that particular path. But our mandate is that one. All I'm saying is that we may as well fail at some point to persuade them out of this thing of contesting for elections. And when that happens, we are now going to have to look into, in the next 2 weeks, the implications of this decision and how we are going to operate as the two parties going forward. Because there's a lot of implications in relation to this decision. IDT CEO, anyone who's corrupt or implicated in corruption, the rule of law must prevail. So the rule of law must prevail. So that goes even for the IDT CEO. If he's implicated in bribing people, all those implicated in corruption, the law and the law must deal with them. It doesn't matter who they are. That's what is important. We must not philosophize about this. Lizeka, I've addressed the issue of coercion and the United States of America. We do consider research. Afrobarometer, SRF, Ipsos, our own research, you know, we consider them in our meeting, what they say about us, what they say about GNU. Most South Africans are very positive about the GNU. All right? That's what the polls are saying. They are not saying anything different from each other. And then they look at the ANC support and it has stabilized. It is now above 40% in the GNU. So the research from our part looks good in terms of the GNU. And we do consider that. This national dialogue is not ours, okay? The national dialogue is a national dialogue for all South Africans. So we look at the national dialogue in terms of the ANC's relationship with that national dialogue. We see it as an important platform, which we ourselves, we will participate with the rest of South Africans who will be taking part in that national dialogue. It's not an ANC thing. Should the national dialogue look at the implementation of the NDP, that is what it will do. And then if it says that the NDP is not fully realizable within the remaining time frame towards 2030, the national dialogue will give direction, because national dialogue, in our understanding, it is going to be, at the end of the day, about social compact and giving direction in terms of what needs to be done. UFM, has the ANC done enough to rebut the lies? We have done enough. We went even to the White House through the president. Not even the ANC. The president of the country went to the White House, and then you watched it live on television, and then he was hit by a movie there about Malema and Kill the Boer. As the ANC, we sang that song, but no member of the ANC today will be allowed to sing Kill the Boer. Simple as that. Even if the Constitutional Court said you can sing, why should we sing Kill the Boer in a democratic dispensation? We sang the song because we're fighting the commandos when we infiltrate the country from Limpopo. They deployed the Boers, commandos, to kill the guerrillas as we infiltrate the country. From Angola and in the frontline states, we sang Kill the Boer, kill the farmer, in order to infiltrate the country and come inside and fight. Now you listen to clowns that says, no, in the camps we're selling drugs. I mean, we're not fighting. Clowns openly in this podcast insult our struggle and the memory of brave men and women of our struggle, and insult them that, no, we were in exile selling drugs. How can you sell drugs in Angola, in the bush, where we were training alongside FAPLA and the Cubans to defeat the Boers in the Battle of Cuito Carnival? We've got graves and soldiers who never came back home and died. We rebury them every day. A clown says people went into exile, they were selling drugs. You know? But for that clown, we're going to take it to task. And then the other clown says we got money from Iran. We didn't get money from Iran. Another clown again says, no, ANC got money from Iran, and he keep repeating this lie. We didn't get any money from Iran. The United States imposed sanctions on Iran. We are not trading with Iran, even if they've got oil. But a clown says, no, we got money. Even the CIA, I'm sure they can tell you, they regard themselves as the best intelligence outfit, can tell you that it's not true that the ANC got money from Iran. We didn't get any money from Iran. And then they say to us that we're selling weapons to Ukraine, not to Ukraine, to Russia. Russia has got the best weaponry in their fight there in Ukraine. We fight and advance a non-partisan approach in terms of Ukraine and Russia. Our president traveled 10 hours on a train to meet the president of Ukraine and advance to Moscow to meet President Vladimir Putin. And then somebody then from the United States, with a bow tie, made a statement, bravely so, that no, we supply arms. And then we establish a commission of inquiry. A commission of inquiry comes out. The DA says, no, that commission is questionable because it was checked in secret by the judge and all of that. The DA. These people, where do they draw the line in terms of partisan interest and national interest? They hate this country. They go to America, go and tell Donald Trump what he wants to hear, and all of that, and come back to this country again. Hurt our economy. When our people are unemployed, we no longer trade with the biggest market like the United States and all of that. They will be coming back and blaming us. They said to the United States we must be hit with sanctions as politicians of the ANC, like Zimbabwe. What did we do? We are not a dictatorship. We have just formed a government of national unity. We underperformed in an election. In less than 14 days, we formed a government of national unity, not persuaded by anyone in the world, independently. Here in this country, they now want to accuse us of dictatorship, that the ANC this, ANC that, and all of that. They advocate for sanctions against our country, disguised as tariffs to hit us. And then these people, they agree with them. Where is national interest, and where do we draw? And where do we draw? Where do we draw the line? So we have worked very hard to rebut the lies of the United States of America. South Africa as a country must continue to pursue trade relations even into new markets. It's very important to do that as a country, as a sovereign state. We are not a branch of the United States. We are a country, full country, state, president, and everything else. So we have to be dealing with these matters with that clear understanding. Now, there are people in our country that go to the U.S., badmouth the country and all of that. And then they come back to our country and settle with us here. So when all these things are coming our way, in the manner in which they are, they want to shift the blame and blame it on the government of the ANC. We have not gone to the United States or undermined democratic processes in this country. We govern with the full respect of understanding that our governing is dependent on the vote of the people. Like the Freedom Charter says, no government shall claim authority unless it is based on the will of the people. That is the preamble of the Freedom Charter. And even ourselves here, we govern at the behest of the people of this country. Those are our bosses. And we respect their will. And that is it. We have never held this country at ransom and all of that. We govern even now for national interest, for stability of our country, for ensuring that this country flourishes in terms of the economy and all of that. And then we brought everybody, we said, come, let's govern together in the GNU. The DA wanted a marriage between us and them. We said, no, bring everybody. Even now, we are ready to bring more into this government. Those who want to leave can leave. But this country must not collapse, and it's not going to collapse at the hands of the ANC. It's going to succeed going forward. EWN, we are in court regularly. So if there are people who want to take us to court, we'll meet in court with regard to the RTT. The RTT term was extended, and they are ready for conference. So why do you stop it? The conference. So we will hear, we have seen letters flying around questioning the standing of the RTT and all of that. From where we are seated, the RTT is ready to convene a conference, and either this week or next week. So if there are people who want to stop it, we will meet in court on that particular matter, and we'll hear them in court as to what is their issue. The president talked about changing the constitution. This dialogue is not about changing the constitution. That is correct. It is about a dialogue and engaging on important issues that affect our country. And it's correct that it is not about changing the constitution of the country. If that matter arises as being pursued in the dialogue, we'll deal with it. I think all of those will be there at that particular moment. I'm not struggling with numbers like Zuma. Our membership, when we released the annual report, you would have seen the breakdown was standing at 600,000. Now, our membership is standing at 1.5 million. Unfortunately, I can't give you the breakdown per province now, but we can avail those details to you. And somebody was saying that we've dropped membership to 600,000 when we released the annual report, and that signifies numbers dwindling for the African National Congress. So that was totally incorrect. Reallocation of HODs, I think that is the prerogative of the Premier. We don't macromanage governance. If the Premier decides that there are HODs in need to change, it's in his purview. And that is his right as the Premier to do that. And if he wants to brief the ANC in Gauteng, which I assume he would have done that, but the ANC, we don't macromanage how government operates and is run. Our deployees there are supposed to do what is right to ensure good governance, accountability, and effective running of government. So if the Premier Panyaza is doing that, we think he's doing it for the good of governance in the province. Ward councillors who are arrested, they must face the consequences. Those who are arrested doing wrong things. Wrongdoing is not condoned here in the African National Congress. So if you do wrong, you must face the music. Sunday World, you ask about the financial state of the ANC. We are a party that is not rich, but we are not broke. We run a huge machinery. If you look at other political parties here and look at their offices, it's like a constituency office. And you are here at Luthuli House. How many floors here? It's huge machinery and staff, which we maintain. So we are not rich, and we rely on goodwill, people who support our party, supporting our ideas to remain in power. If you support the ANC financially, it means you believe in the ANC. So we fundraise from time to time, and we thank everybody who believe in the ANC and support our organization financially to meet its obligations. Jacob Zuma gives us ultimatums every day. He's a man of ultimatums. It's clear that he formed that party to fight Cyril Ramaphosa. So that's what it does. So they failed the other day dismally at the Constitutional Court. And they were left there crying. Because they are delinquents even when it comes to the law. They don't look at things properly. They went there to the Constitutional Court to moan and think that that is a platform for political theatrics. Those judges dismissed them, sent them packing, same day. It was not postponed. Next, it was dealt with same day. Dabona udale xubile kunzima. Iloya yamadoda nalityhini. kumnyama ebusweni benkawu kuyakubi baqoqotiswa pha zijaji sibabuza imibuzo bengakwazi uphendula nizothina busy kule country siyalungisa. We're busy here. We established judicial commission. We're intervening in situations. They are just intercepting, you know, and they tried their revolution here. And then they tried some shutdown. Those things people did not. Nobody in South Africa is entertaining anarchy. People want to see action. Mkwanazi made allegations, judicial commission established, dealing with the matters in order to give capacity to our police force to do the work that it's supposed to do as prescribed in the constitution of the country. So there's no time to waste time here. People going to courts, wasting time of judges and all of that. So the judges deal with them decisively. I've answered the question of membership. The SACP decision, we are clear that the SACP wants to contest elections, as the ANC were opposed to that. All I'm saying is that we may not succeed to persuade them to get out of that resolution. And therefore, what we have decided is that if all it fails, we must now, as the ANC, sit down and decide what are we going to do, of which that's what we're going to do. But we have agreed with the SACP to meet. Now, you can see from the General Secretary that is determined to implement that resolution that they have taken. That resolution have got far-reaching implications for the alliance and the Communist Party in itself. Because that resolution seeks to say, if you look at it, the Communist Party, except for saying to its members, choose between us and the ANC, but it equally says that resolution, we are now going to contest elections with the ANC. And when you contest elections, it means you contest the ANC. We contest each other on the ground, and so on. So it has got far-reaching implications. And you will see, even in practice, it's a big challenge. So we will talk to the Communist Party as per mandate, but should we fail, the NEC is clear that we must then design intervention. We're going to convene an NEC meeting special to look at local government. That will include the discussion on the SACP decision. And that meeting we are supposed to convene in a fortnight. So, which means we must work flat out with the SACP, and then when we go to the NEC, akuzube kuteketwa sabe sithetha into ecacileyo with no ambiguity ukuthi how do we move forward and the implications of that decision. Mthunzi, andizukomenta man kwinto zikaKhenny ne-resignation yakhe ibuze ku-gate 10 lona. U-gate 10 uyiphendula every day la question. It was a very difficult decision. U-gate 10 uyiphendulile la question. Umbekele bucala uKhenny ziyaqhubeka ezachap uyabona. So ibuze pha kubo lo mbuzo lo. Ukuthi ubefuna ntoni endlini yalamfo andimazi uzaziphendulela uthi ebebiziwe pha ndimva nam njengani ukuthi uthe beyothini pha amapolisa afika kuhlelwi pha ukuthi bebesenzani bebesela or besenza ntoni lo mfo kuthiwa uyingozi emphakathini la chap ibanjiweyo pha kuthiwa akamoshi wenze enye into uyabona ukuthi abadubula abantu so amapolisa afika pha so bafumana ukheni pha zwapha not estrateni endlini yalamfo uyayiqonda so umnikazi wendaba uzaziphendulela ukuthi befuna ndoni pha ukuthi behamba nejournalist ukuthi belandela ijournalist beyo interviewa la chap ibanjiweyo ityholwa ngokuthi idubula abantu apha eJoburg amapolisa afika pha afumana ukheni pha so ndizayiphendula ndithini mhlekazi umicimbi kakheni no uzaziphendulela ugeyitheni uyayiphendula lanto and all of that and then yes of course there is right-wing nationalism even here in South Africa by certain political parties and all of that who some of them are in government but they are opponents and we are opposed to each other. We deal with each other in that context. Buthelezi, lento ye top dogs uthetha ngazo andizazo Mtsipe uthi zi top dog. Umtsipe akakayiphenduli lento yakhe kuthethwa ngegama lakhe akakayiphenduli lo. But here is the position. Into the succession kwa ANC we have taken a decision they must stop. If you want to stand, it's fine, but stop this thing of abbreviations BM 2027. Those things must stop. We must focus on the work of building the ANC and fighting to come back in power. 2027 will have plenty of time. People for them to canvass what they want to be. It doesn't matter now. Even if you can say you are standing or you don't stand, it doesn't matter. We are not there yet. And we have said that if you want to disorganize the ANC, start the succession discussion. It's not only Motsepe. I see videos flying around with nice songs. So and so must lead and all of that. We are clear. Those things must stop. As is a top dog, so is it top dog when we get into that terrain. And maybe it's equally unfair to ask Motsepe whether these things are true or false. If there are ANC people who promote, we are saying to them, stop that. Even myself, people say no, FM 2027, Mbalula for president. So I ask them a question. I have not convened a caucus to ask for leadership to be elected. I've never gone to the provinces. I'm focused on this job. So when I call them to order, they say, no, I'm slowing them down because I've got a bigger agenda. I'm entrenching myself. I'm saying to them, you elected me to be your Secretary General. I've not even finished halfway mark. You are already talking about me becoming a president. Hey man, I've not been evaluated by any structure. NGC, we have not even reached NGC. We have not presented the report. We have lost elections. Yeah, 40%. And then you say, no, now, when I communicate decisions, they say I'm slowing them down. And we say to our structures, appreciate the moment we are in. The ANC is a party we can say lost elections. And then we are busy about each other and our egos, polishing them, that we must stand. Stand where? When we have to win the trust of the people to support us. So, we're very clear, Buthelezi, everybody must stop about 2027 succession debate. We will discuss that at the right time. At the present moment, everyone must focus on the task of building organization. And stop suspecting people that they work hard and then convince yourself that they are not working hard, they are doing it for themselves in order to become president. You know, Sputla is doing a great job as our minister. And I was saying to him, you are doing a great job, but don't stand, you know. And I was joking with him. Because he's doing a great job, people will be saying, hey, Sputla wants himself. Other people, when they sit in those WhatsApp groups, they see leaders in their sleep. Have you ever seen that thing? When people then start to say to you, you are my leader, leadership. I want you as my president. Now, if you've got small brains, you will think that, hey, abantu bayandifuna. People want me. It doesn't work like that. There are people, when you say to them, hey, you are a presidential material, they honestly even change the movement of walking. Because somebody in some branch said that you can be a presidential material. It doesn't work like that. Even the way of talking, they change. So I'm just giving an example about Sputla, our minister, who's hardworking, a member of the National Executive Committee. Because he's working hard, people will be saying you can be this, you can be that. It's normal when you work in the face of people that people can think of you to become something. It's normal. It doesn't make you, it doesn't get into my head when structures say, but our SG is doing well, is all of that. Hey, we think of you to become something. I don't stop becoming SG here and change the works. My work is still the same. As you would have left me at Nazareth when I was elected. My work is still the same. It doesn't get to my head that I must leave this job now and start to think of myself as something else. Because some people think of you in this way. You know, you've got to wait. Mandela says to us, stop suffering from uncontrollable desire for power. Because that thing is going to kill you faster. Uncontrollable desire. You want to contest everything, and you never win anything. So if people at some point come to you, persuade you, whatever, that time and moment will come at the right time. SAPC, a very long philosophical question by Ntebu, about 25 years. The Communist Party is not saying to us, Ntebu, that we are contesting because you are failing to reconfigure. Even that reconfiguration, which we agreed we must discuss, and so on, is not clearly defined. That if reconfiguration is about co-governing, and because of that we disagree over that, because we have understood from the onset that there is no issue with regard to who leads the NDR. It's the ANC, the National Democratic Revolution. We are not fighting over that. There's no issue about who leads the struggle for socialism. It's the Communist Party. If the Communist Party says we are contesting elections because we're contesting for socialism, there's nothing the ANC can do about that because it's who they are. But they have not said that. They say they are contesting for state power. That's what I've heard. State power means now something different altogether. It means something different altogether. So that's the clarity that we seek in this particular instance. So they have not said, the SACP, we are contesting elections because we want contest for socialism, which is within their right. And we think that this socialism we want We're not going to realize it if we are in alliance with the ANC as a liberation movement. And that this thing of the NDR, let them go on their own. Because what they are doing, they are then creating a vacuum of left communists in the African National Congress, as it is. So they are creating that vacuum, they leave it to who? Because they are now creating a crisis for the left inside the African National Congress. And then they are then saying, communists in the ANC choose between the ANC and the Communist Party. And then they leave. So then who's going to occupy that space? And if they believe that the ANC is so weak today, such that they must then ascend to a pedestal of contesting for power, working with others, I don't know with who, not the ANC. Because there's no left here in this country. It's in paper. People call themselves left. They are not left, these people. Do you call Zuma left? Zuma is not left. A man who leaves the country and go and endorse a right-wing government that oppresses people. Morocco, you call that left? That's not left. For the rest of our lives, when we joined this thing, we joined it because we were fighting, among others, colonialism. There are people of Western Sahara colonized by Morocco and oppressed. Zuma, coming from the liberation movement, Zuma, goes there and say, no, everything is fine, gentlemen. What happened to this man was a president, deputy secretary general of the ANC that says we are anti this. He goes, form a Nomkokwana there in a corner, disorganize this ANC, take some numbers, fight for it to be out of power. In no time, he's knocking in Morocco, endorsing them in a press conference. He doesn't even read a statement. He's got a special advisor who reads on his behalf. But Kuba, bati bayazabalaza. Uban Lamfo, ebefundela uZuma pa. Makasela, he's also from here. The ANC, he reads there and even defend that thing on Twitter. These people have been selling out while sitting here in the ANC. How can you suffer from such damaged consciousness in a short space of time? What is it that Morocco is giving these people? What they got there. And then you come and say that is left. There's no left there. The real left here is the ANC. And then the Communist Party, through its decision, says, no, we are leaving, and then we are going, and all of that, and then we are going to contest state power. There's no state power. Look at the elections in Seshego. Communist Party contested there. Leave the numbers they got. Why will communists isolate themselves and then from the liberation movement abandon the ship, leave the ANC and go and contest? You should be contesting here, inside, and fight to win your ideas here in the ANC and maintain it. The party has never been chasing numbers. And it might as well not get the numbers they want. When they come back on the other side, they look at this ANC, and then we have left this ANC with whoever that we have left it with. When you come from the other side, Communist Party has never chased numbers, and that is why we are not shocked when they get 70 in a ward. Because these are the people who have always been here teaching us the most advanced layer of leadership in the ANC is communists. That is why at some point it was not pronounced. In the 40s, the Youth League, Mandela, were chasing communists up until Kotani brought sense into his head. Wamkhabulis. Uguti, hey, this thing you are doing is wrong. And then he only then learned that Ntate Kotani is a communist. He was in the ANC, General Secretary of the African National Congress, advanced. They were not pronounced. To join the Communist Party was in secrecy. You will only learn later that this man is a communist. But Thabo Mbeki, they were communists. The last conference of the Communist Party in Cuba was chaired by Thabo Mbeki. So when the communists decide to leave the ANC, it's a sad moment for our revolution, the African National Congress, and our revolution here in South Africa. It's sad that such a thing can happen. Lastly, UFM. I don't know what you want about these weapons of Ukraine. We don't know what you are saying. If it is there, it's the state that must deal with that matter, meaning our state. That Dinel is working with some Germans and then they are supplying arms to Ukraine. We don't know that. But like you have exposed it, you media people have got information that we don't have. But like you are raising it now, yeah, as the ANC, will condemn that if there is such. But from where I'm seated at Luthuli House, I don't have that information. We don't have that information. That information, if it is there, it will be with the state president and all his intelligence people and state security. From our side, we don't have it. As the ANC, if there's anything of that sort, we are very clear. We'll condemn it, and it will be a big blunder in terms of our international role to do such things in our country. It will be a big blunder.